Ani sego wache bojo pego tit. Senecas knomagem gun mina mampi akingetek mi gwenda enagdanjgejik. Nishnabek wendat minahod nashoni. Dap nanan Treaty 13 Toronto Purchase. Ganos Wind Muat Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Minwa Williams Treaty Ginos Wind Muat Mississaugas Minachipwas. Kinago Enching Treaty Vemadsajik Abdeko Hui Mando Kime Kinamadwin Man Na Dendwin. Minwa We Nagdwen Mang Nunga Manda Kigiyabe En Daat Yawan Midna Nishnabek Mina Métis Mina Inuit Kitchenenda me Kina Mamwewi Nagdwenj Ge Man Da Ake Mina Nebish.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you for joining us. Please be seated.
Well, good morning and a very warm welcome to Seneca Polytechnic's June 2023 convocation. You know, this is a very busy season of celebration and commemoration. In June alone, we have the National Indigenous History Month. We have, of course, the Pride celebrations, Heritage Months for the Italian, the Portuguese, the Filipino communities. Eid is coming, and Saint Jean-Baptiste Day was yesterday for our friends in Quebec. And, of course, all that leads up to Canada Day on July 1st. And so it's great to see this big group of graduates here today, joined by your family and friends, and, of course, also watching the live stream. So a big welcome to all. Faculty and staff here on the stage and elsewhere through the hall are also with us to celebrate your success, and that's because for anybody involved in education, convocation is absolutely the highlight of the year because it marks the culmination of your successful journey to this convocation stage. It's a celebration of your achievements. So I say to all of our graduates, well done. We could not be prouder of you, and let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you, graduates, for joining us today. But you know, no journey that is worth doing is taken alone. Maybe it was an encouraging word, a classmate you studied with, a little financial help when you needed it most. How about a big round of applause for the family and friends who are with you every step of the way? And how about the faculty and staff of Seneca? Could I ask the faculty on the stage to please stand up? Please stand. Please stand. You can get up. But the star of the show today is you, graduates, because at the end of the day, you did it. Yes, you. So give yourself a big round of applause. Well done. Congratulations. But you know, convocation is one of those days, and perhaps they're too rare in this kind of sped up world of ours, one of those rare days when you can kind of step back, relax, celebrate, and think. Think about the journey that takes you here to this convocation stage today, and also think about the future. It's a day to ask yourself, what's next? Of course, I'm not talking about tonight or tomorrow. I'm talking about what are you going to do with the education that you have earned in this next chapter of your life. Perhaps you're continuing your studies. Perhaps you're looking for a job. Perhaps you've already found a job. You already have one. And that's great because, of course, our prime mission is helping you get ready for great careers. But there's another part of our mission that we take equally seriously, which is getting you to be ready to be a great citizen. And by citizen, I'm not talking about whose country's passport you carry. I'm talking about being an engaged and active citizen of the world. You see, those of us, including all of you, who have access to higher education are members of a privileged minority in the world. Yes, most people in the world will never have the opportunity that you have had to get a post-secondary education. And that's important because, of course, and this is probably the reason you did it, higher education leads to more opportunities. It opens more doors for you. But I believe very strongly that with that privilege comes a responsibility to use that education not just to benefit you, but to benefit a broader community, to help build and support healthy societies. And maybe I wouldn't feel so strongly about that if everything in the world was just going so terrifically, smooth sailing, calm waters. But you know, that's not true. And you know that. And that's what I love about Seneca students. You're grounded. You don't need to be introduced to the real world on graduation. You live in it. You don't need to be shielded from reality. You want the straight goods. It's not a pretty list today. Climate change, Russia's tyrannous invasion of Ukraine, reconciliation, inclusion goals unmet, deeply divisive politics in so many countries, including our own. I could go on, but I won't because to just recite a list of problems isn't very helpful. And I deeply believe that the vast majority of people around the world desperately want the present and the future to look different than the trajectory we seem to be on. So back to you, graduates. What's next, and how can you put your education to good use to strengthen, in ways big and small, the broader community? I recently read a book by an astute commentator on international affairs. His name is Richard Haas. He heads up a foreign policy think tank in the United States. He worries a lot about threats to democracies, the increasing polarization of societies around the world, and that prompted him to write a book called the Bill of Obligations, named after, of course, the Bill of Rights in the U.S. And here's the basic thesis of the book. If we focus too much on only asserting our own individual rights, and we don't have the capacity or the will to work together to resolve our differences, then we will weaken our societies and our democracies. Instead, as his book title suggests, we should focus equally on our obligations to each other. Of course, obligations are not things that we have to do, but they're things that we ought to do, because they're part of how we successfully live together on this ever smaller planet. Now, Mr. Haas didn't invent this notion. The importance of our obligations to each other, the moral imperative that lies behind them, has existed for thousands of years in philosophy, found in virtually every major religion. And this is not meant to diminish our individual rights. In Canada, we're very proud of our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. But in the competition of my rights versus your rights, it's too easy to lose sight of the absolute need to respect each other's rights and the rights of the broader community to find a way to peacefully coexist and support each other. Now, Mr. Haas enumerates 10 obligations in his book. I'll just single out a few because I think they're universally applicable and particularly relevant in today's world. The first, and I know I'm speaking to graduates of the School of Media this morning, the first is to be informed. Keep abreast of current events. Beware of misinformation and, yes, fake news. Seek out perspectives that are different from your own to test your belief, and always bring an informed view to every discussion. The second is to get involved. This is so key. Strong and healthy communities are built and maintained by high levels of participation by their members. And what's true for communities is equally true for democracies. They thrive when their members are active and engaged. They wither when they're not. So please, get involved. The third obligation is stay open to compromise. As the author says, somewhere along the way, compromise became a four-letter word. Politicians get lambasted for flip-flops if they seek consensus rather than total victory. Leaders get pilloried for weakness if they end up with half a loaf rather than the whole thing. But if we go through life with a winner-take-all attitude every day, we're missing opportunities to bring people together around a way forward. The final obligation I will highlight is to promote the common good by caring about our fellow citizens, by making sure opportunity is available to all, by focusing on our obligation to promote the health and prosperity of all of us and all of those around us. We are made better. Nothing in that prevents individual success, but that does not have to come at the expense of others. So what does this have to do with you, graduates? Well, everything. It's your world. It should be better than it is. It can be better than it is, and you can help make it better. Stronger neighborhoods, inclusive communities, societies that create opportunity and prosperity for all. Here at Seneca, you developed a toolkit that will help you build a great career, but that same toolkit gives you the skills to engage, to participate, and yes, to lead in communities. Don't let them go to waste. In his book, the author writes, Richard Haas, we get the country and the government we deserve. Getting the one we need, however, is up to us. And so now, graduates, this is your time. Thank you for choosing Seneca. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you as our students, and we're so proud to have you now as our graduates. But as much as you have accomplished thus far, I can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you very much. Now, as our first group of graduates gets ready to cross the stage, let me share with you a couple of things that you should know about the ceremony. Now, I'm going to sound a bit scoldy here, but I'm just going to let it out. Okay, so graduates, please, once you're graduated, return to your seat, stay for the whole ceremony. It's a matter of courtesy and respect for your fellow graduates, and family and friends, I would say the same thing. This is actually, for us, a small ceremony this morning. It will go quite quickly. There will be time for everybody to connect after the ceremony. We have a reception taking place. It's actually on all 3 floors of this hall. But we're going to ask the people from the School of Media, both the faculty and the staff, the graduates and the family, to use the second floor. That way it'll be easier to find each other. The Faculty of Continuing Education graduates, faculty and staff, you could use the main floor. So now each graduate will come across the stage individually, and their name will be announced by one of our namers. This morning, that's Anita LaSelva and David Fraser. And it will also appear at the bottom of the screen. And a copy of this live stream, which is actually being watched literally around the world this morning, will be available on our website. So if you miss anything, you can go back and watch it again and again and again. We'll also be sharing, well, you know, if you're going to miss yourself crossing the stage, go, well, yeah, it's okay. We'll also be sharing special messages from elected officials, from our valedictorians, and our wonderful alumni, and I'm delighted to tell you that we have one of our valedictorians with us this morning. Where are you, Tanika? Why don't you stand up? This is Tanika Millington, a graduate of the Early Childhood Educator Resource Consulting Graduate Certificate Program. It's a great honor to be chosen as a valedictorian. We've made a video of all of our valedictorians, and you'll hear from Tanika very soon. Now, I think this is also an appropriate moment to thank all of the individuals, the companies, the associations who have donated to scholarships and bursaries to support our students through their academic journey. Through their donations, they have not only given these students much-deserved recognition of everything that they've accomplished, both inside and outside the classroom, but for some of the students who will be now graduating, crossing this stage, they could not have done that without the financial aid from those bursaries and scholarships. So thank you to the donors, and let's give a big round of applause to all the recipients of our scholarships and bursaries. Now, I've been asked about this medallion that I'm wearing this morning. I'm very honored to be wearing it. It was a gift from our Indigenous students in what we call Odato, which is the home of First Peoples at Seneca at our Newnham campus. You actually saw some glimpses of it in that video during the land acknowledgement. It's a beautiful piece of beadwork. For those of you close to Seneca, you'll recognize in the middle that's actually a representation of our mascot, Sammy Sting. So I wear with a whole bunch of pride and appreciation. And now it looks like we're ready to go.
Also within the Faculty of Continuing Education in Adult Education, Staff Training and Development, Deborah A. Neal, High Honors. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the graduates from the Faculty of Continuing Education. It's now time to meet the class of 2023 valedictorians. This group of 6 outstanding individuals have achieved academic excellence, demonstrated leadership, and contributed to student life at Seneca. They are honored to represent all of you here today.
First of all, congratulations.
Congratulations.
We did it.
We have survived.
Seneca gave us a challenge, and we said challenge accepted.
Seneca is like a small Canada.
I know that we're here to help each other.
And we have become so close, and I was able to get to know so many of them on a personal level.
I will miss the learning journey in Seneca.
I had the privilege of working with such skillful RVTs in the field.
And the support of the people who were with me when I was starting.
For those who helped me get here, I want to say a massive thank you.
Dear parents, I can't say thank you enough for your love and support.
My brother and my sister, they've made me the person who I am.
Work family, they are my best friends. I could always count on them.
The people who stepped in and checked if I was okay on the days when I wasn't.
My wife, she's been raising my 2 daughters alone for the past few months, which inspired me more to give everything and to make the best of what I have to do here in Seneca.
Thank you so much. You're an integral part of the reason why I've graduated.
The professors played a very significant role, especially in creating an environment where you could just speak your mind.
They were constantly there for guidance, for advice.
Encouraged me to get out of my comfort zone.
They understood that we were living life while still being in school.
I was able to connect with them on a professional basis, but also on a personal basis.
They made sure that I got to the end and that I'm here with all of you. Woo! And I'm proud to be a part of the class of 2023 because we are badass and we are awesome and we are relentlessly ambitious.
Pat on our backs.
Now go out into the world and make it a better place.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Way to go!
I love you guys.
Well, that just about brings our ceremony this morning to a close. So again, the School of Media, the graduates, the family and friends, the faculty and staff up on the 2nd floor, faculty of continuing education here on the main floor. There are stairs, escalators, elevators to get up to the 2nd floor out in the main lobby. So with that, I would ask, please, everybody to stand and remain standing while first the platform party and then the graduates depart the hall. And I declare this June 2023 Seneca Polytechnic Convocation officially closed.